doctors. We need people to work in these fields. But you have people who are going off and they're not coming back. Some of them, you really don't know why they're not coming back. Others, they're looking for better opportunities because persons have said they come back home, they either can't find a job, or if they're in that field, they're not being paid for their degree. They're being underpaid. Meanwhile, the other persons working in the same field being paid more than them. And so I think only when you're in their position, you could understand. The saying says, who in the kitchen feel the heat? And so if you're not in their position, you may not be able to understand where they're coming from. And so people are going off to study, getting their degrees, they're getting qualified, and they're not coming back because persons are probably fascinated with the international world and what's happening in the bigger countries, more opportunities, more money for them. They may want to start a business, but they probably foresee that the business may not be as successful as they want it to be if they open a business here in SKN, and so they decide to stay in the US or in the UK or in Europe or any other country to start their business and for their business to grow and develop. Now I realize, as we're on this topic, there is an issue we're facing here within our communities, where you have persons saying, people continue to say, oh, support local businesses, support your own. Now, I am all for supporting your own and for supporting local businesses. But there's some young entrepreneurs, there's some young business owners that they just don't know how to treat their customers. And so how do you tell someone to support a business, to support a young business where the person does not know how to deal with a customer? They have bad customer service, the business is not good, the service is terrible. The service is terrible. And so you have where some people, they just like to support their own because they don't want to see them grow. And then you have those who will not support you because of your terrible customer service. And you can't be upset with people for that. But the issue of trying unemployment, it is real. It is something that we have been facing for a long time. Now, unemployment, in my opinion, it leads to crime. Because if you come back from school, you have a student loan. Apart from your student loan, you have other responsibilities to take care of. You're not working. You can't find a job. You try to start a business. It's not working. You probably started a business, and 2 years later, business crumbles. What do you do? And so you'll find that there are a lot of people out there who they may have their degrees, they may be qualified, but they ending up doing something illegal. They start to sell drugs, they start to prostitute themselves, they start to steal, because it may not be a situation where they want to do it. But sounds wrong, but in some cases they probably have to do it because they have their responsibilities. And so when you don't have a job but you need money, you don't have a job but you need money, and that is a problem right there. You're not working but you need money to eat, you need money to run the household, you need money to do your everyday responsibilities. And so we as a people, and it's not just for the government too, yes, we as a people, we need to address this issue of unemployment. There was some comments on Facebook over the last few days about someone expressing their frustration about coming back from university and not being able to find a job, not being able to get meaningful employment. And their concern is relevant. And I don't think anyone should try to say, oh, you're not important. Their argument is that I'm back home. I'm ready to contribute. I'm ready to give something to my country. I'm ready to do something for my country. But they can't. They are trying. They started new businesses. They started something new. But when they go out to look for a job, whether it be in the government, whether it be in the private sector, or any other place, they have been turned down. And so the issue, again, of unemployment is real, and it's high amongst our young people. I know a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues, classmates of mine, who graduated more than 2, 3, 4 years ago, and they are still at home. Meanwhile, they have their student loans to look after, and they call them their babies. They have to help out in the household. And you ask yourself, well, how are they managing? Some of them may start their little own thing. A recommendation I made to that person was to start some classes. So if you studied in that particular field, you could start some classes and you could target persons who work in the field, and they probably want to gain more knowledge about the field. And so you'll start some classes and you make some money by doing some tutoring lessons. So it's not just coming back home, sitting at home and waiting for someone to call and say, well, Miss Doe, I have a job for you. I want you to start on Monday. That is not always going to be the case. Sometimes when you come back, or you're looking for a job, you have to look and look and look and look and look and look and look until you find. Then you have those persons who come back home and their jobs waiting for them. Now, your opportunities may not be the same as someone else. Things may not work out for you. Meantime, they may work out for your friend. And so you may have a bright future. Things are working well for you. You're coming from school, you get a job, you're able to pay your loan, you're able to take care of your responsibilities. Meanwhile, someone who probably studied the same thing, they're not working, they're struggling, they're fighting to make ends meet. These are the challenges and these are the issues that we are facing within our communities. And I think we are trying to turn a blind eye to it. We are trying to turn a blind eye to it. And so when you have a high unemployment rate, you end up with high crime rate. And then you struggle now to try to bring down that crime rate by implementing programs. Justice reform programs, juvenile reform programs, different programs for rehabilitation of young people, juvenile delinquents. But if we address the issue of unemployment, we may not get to that stage. Is that they're saying prevention is better than cure. It's now just 11:48 here in our studios. We're just about a few minutes away from our headline news. We'll take a short break to hear from our sponsors. And when we return, we'll just wrap up this first segment of Voices. And we'll break it for the news.
Smiles have been going fast because Flow Home internet speeds got faster with up to over 2.5 times their original speeds. Everyone will enjoy a more satisfying experience online doing what they love. All thanks to the best network being better than ever, as Flow remains committed to delivering the best connection possible. Join the Flow family and get internet the way it's meant to be: fast, reliable, and affordable. Sign up today at your nearest Flow store. Conditions apply.
Are you wondering what to do this holiday season? Will it be the same? Will you be able to give your family all that they need? Well, with TDC Financial Services, all your holiday woes will disappear. You can get up to $35,000 unsecured for your holiday needs. Give us a call at 465-6516 or 469-5430 to find out how we can help to make your holidays happier for you and your family. TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
We are back with Voices right here on WINN FM 98.9. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius. It is 11:52, so we are going to hear from the news at 12 o'clock, and we will come back at 12:30 for the second segment. We are talking about the struggles of job hunting for returning nationals and the struggles that we have faced and we continue to face. Now, when I'm talking about unemployment in St Kitts and Nevis, you often hear people say, people come in here, they're getting the job that I want, and I'm not being able to work because somebody else took the job. Somebody else came from Antigua. Somebody else came from Barbados. Somebody else came from Jamaica, and they took the job that I wanted. Locals not being employed. Meanwhile, you're employing other people. Now, I know there's this thing called the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, which if you are a member of the CSME, you are allowed to migrate to another country that is a part of the CSME, of course, to work without any permit. I think you have to get a CARICOM certificate or something of that nature, something like that, to work. But if you are a university graduate, if you're in the media field, if you're in the hospitality industry, I believe these are some of the areas, or if you're a skilled worker, these are some of the areas that you are allowed to move to another country that is a part of the CSME to get employment. And so you have, I wouldn't say an issue, but you have happening where person